My wife skipped our honeymoon trip for a work emergency, but I found her making out with her boss in our house, so I took my best friend to the trip instead and then married her. I, 30M, recently married my girlfriend Brenda, 28F, after dating for 3 years. We met through mutual friends at a party and hit it off immediately. She was different from anyone I had ever dated, smart, ambitious, and seemed to know exactly what she wanted in life. We moved in together after a year of dating, and everything was perfect until she started working at her current company about a year ago. For context, Brenda previously worked at a smaller firm where she felt undervalued. She was excited when she got this new job opportunity at a bigger company, and I supported her decision completely. The pay was better, and the growth opportunities seemed promising. That's when things began to change, especially after she got promoted to be the direct report of Nathan, 35M, her current boss. I started noticing small changes in her behavior. She began working late hours, always had work emergencies during weekends, and was constantly texting. At first, I tried to be understanding because I knew she wanted to prove herself in her new role. The company culture was quite demanding, and as her partner, I wanted to support her career growth. But then I noticed how she would get all excited whenever Nathan's name popped up in conversations. She would talk about how brilliant and accomplished he was, and how lucky she felt to work under such an amazing mentor. The real red flags started appearing when she began attending unnecessary work dinners and weekend conferences. Once, I picked her up from one of these dinners, and I saw how Nathan looked at her. Something just felt off. He had this way of looking at her that made me uncomfortable, and she seemed to blush under his attention. When I tried to talk to her about it, she accused me of being paranoid and said I was trying to control her career. She said I was just jealous of her success and that I needed to grow up. Despite my concerns, I still wanted to make our relationship work. We had invested 3 years in each other, and I really loved her. When I proposed 6 months ago, she seemed genuinely happy and excited about our future together. She promised me that nothing was going on between her and Nathan, and that she was just career-focused. I chose to believe her, although the doubt never really went away. During our engagement period, things got even more suspicious. She would often cancel our dinner plans because of sudden work emergencies, most of which somehow involved Nathan. There were times when I would wake up in the middle of the night to find her texting someone. When I asked who it was, she would say it was work-related and quickly put her phone away. I started feeling like I was going crazy, constantly doubting myself and wondering if I was just being overly suspicious. My best friend since school, Abigail, 29F, was the only one who shared my concerns. She pointed out how Brenda's behavior had changed since she started working with Nathan. But whenever I brought this up with Brenda, she would get defensive and accuse me of discussing our relationship problems with other people. She particularly seemed to have an issue with Abigail, saying she was trying to create problems between us. We got married last month in a beautiful ceremony. Everything seemed perfect, and I thought maybe I'd been overthinking things. Brenda was attentive during the wedding planning, and she seemed genuinely excited about starting our life together. We planned our honeymoon to Hawaii, a place we both had always wanted to visit. The plan was to meet at the airport since she had an important client meeting that morning. I wasn't happy about her scheduling a meeting on the day of our honeymoon flight, but she insisted she couldn't miss it. She said this client was crucial for their company, and Nathan specifically requested her to be there. I suggested she could reschedule since it was our honeymoon, but she was adamant about attending the meeting and promised she would come directly to the airport afterward. I waited at the airport for 2 hours past our meeting time. She wasn't picking up my calls, and I was getting worried. I called her office, but they said the meeting had ended hours ago. Then I received a text from her saying she couldn't make it because Nathan needed her to stay for an office emergency. She told me to go ahead without her and that she would try to join me the next day. I was furious. This was our honeymoon, not some random vacation that could be postponed. We had spent months planning this trip, and she chose work over our special time together. I texted her back saying I would go to Hawaii alone, but honestly, I was too angry to even think about enjoying the trip. Instead of boarding the flight, I decided to drive back home. I didn't tell her I was coming back because I wanted to clear my head first. When I pulled into our apartment complex, I saw Nathan's car in the parking lot. My heart sank. I hoped it wasn't what I thought it was, but deep down, I knew. When I entered our apartment, I found them together on our couch. They were kissing, and both looked shocked to see me there. They were still in their work clothes, but it was clear there was no work emergency. Brenda immediately started crying and tried to explain, saying it was a mistake and it just happened. Nathan tried to act all professional about it, telling me we could talk about this like adults. I was livid. Here was this man, in my house, with my wife, on what was supposed to be our honeymoon day, trying to act like we could have a civilized conversation about it. I told them both to get out of my house immediately. Brenda kept crying and begging me to listen, saying it wasn't what it looked like, but I couldn't even look at her. I just kept repeating that they needed to leave. Nathan tried to put his hand on my shoulder in some patronizing gesture of understanding, which almost made me lose it completely. After they left, I packed some essential items and went to stay with my parents. I've blocked Brenda on everything: phone, social media, email. Her family has been calling my parents, trying to get me to talk to her, saying I need to give her a chance to explain. But what is there to explain? She chose to be with her boss instead of going on our honeymoon. Our mutual friends are divided. Some say I should at least hear her out, that maybe there's more to the story than what I saw. Others think what she did is unforgivable, especially given the timing. My best friend Abigail has been my biggest support through all this. She's been bringing me food, making sure I'm okay, and just being there to listen when I need to talk. I don't know what to do now. We just got married, and I caught her cheating with her boss on what was supposed to be our honeymoon day. I can't even look at our wedding photos without feeling sick. Every time I think about how happy we looked in those pictures, I wonder if she was thinking about him even then. Was I wrong to kick them out without letting them explain? Should I have seen this coming? Am I the asshole for not even giving her a chance to explain herself? Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since my last post, and a lot has happened. First, I want to thank everyone who commented and supported me. Your words really helped me through some dark days. I've been staying at my parents' house, trying to process everything that happened. The first few days were absolute hell. I couldn't eat or sleep properly. My mom was really worried about me, but I just needed time to process everything. Brenda kept trying to reach me through different numbers after I blocked her. She even created new email accounts to contact me. In her messages, she kept saying that what I saw wasn't what I thought, that she and Nathan were just talking about work stuff and things got out of hand. But I'm not stupid. You don't accidentally end up kissing your boss on your honeymoon day. Nathan's wife somehow got my number and called me. She wanted to know exactly what happened. Turns out, Nathan told her a completely different story. He said he was at our apartment because Brenda was having a mental breakdown about getting married. Can you believe that? They really thought they could spin this whole thing around. I told his wife everything, including how long I'd been suspicious about their relationship. She was devastated but thanked me for being honest. After spending a week at my parents' house, I decided I needed to get away from everything. The honeymoon tickets to Hawaii were non-refundable, and looking at them just made me more angry and depressed. That's when Abigail suggested I shouldn't let them go to waste. She offered to come with me as a friend, just to help me clear my head. She said she had some vacation days saved up, and she could see how much I needed to get away from all the drama. Initially, I was hesitant because I knew people would talk. My parents were concerned too. They thought it might give Brenda ammunition to make me look bad. But then I thought, why should I care what others think when my wife didn't care about our marriage? Besides, Abigail and I have been friends since we were kids. She was there for me through my first breakup in high school, helped me get through college, and was even one of the groomsmen at my wedding. So, Abigail and I went to Hawaii together. We got separate rooms in the same suite because it was cheaper that way, and honestly, it was actually really good for me to get away from all the drama. We spent time hiking, surfing, and just talking about life. It felt liberating to be with someone who actually cared about my feelings and wasn't constantly checking their phone for work emergencies. Abigail shared some things with me too. She told me how she never really liked Brenda, but kept quiet because she saw how happy I seemed. She mentioned several instances where she had caught Brenda being overly friendly with Nathan at company events, but didn't want to say anything because she thought maybe she was reading too much into it. She even showed me some photos from our wedding where you can clearly see Nathan staring at Brenda during the ceremony. I can't believe I was so blind. While we were in Hawaii, Brenda somehow found out through mutual friends that I was there with Abigail. She went absolutely ballistic. She started calling all our friends, telling them that I had been having an affair with Abigail all along, and that's why I was so quick to leave with her. She even posted about it on social media, making herself look like the victim. According to her post, she only got close to Nathan because I was emotionally unavailable and always spending time with Abigail. What's ironic is that her social media rant actually backfired. Several of our colleagues have now come forward telling me that Brenda and Nathan's affair had been going on for months. Apparently, everyone at their office knew about it, but nobody thought to tell me. One of her coworkers, feeling guilty after seeing her posts, even sent me security camera footage from their office parking lot showing them together late at night on multiple occasions. There were at least 6 different instances where they were caught kissing in his car after everyone else had left the office. The worst part? I found out that the emergency meeting on our honeymoon day was actually a lie. Nathan had booked a romantic dinner for them at an expensive restaurant. They had been planning this for weeks. The client meeting that morning was just a cover story. They thought I would be on the flight to Hawaii, giving them the perfect opportunity to be together. They had even made reservations at a hotel for that night. The only reason they ended up at our apartment was because Brenda forgot some things she wanted to take to the hotel. I'm actually glad I went to Hawaii with Abigail. She's been my friend for over 15 years, and she's the only person who's been completely honest with me through all of this. Yes, we shared a suite, but we had separate rooms. Nothing happened between us. We just talked, laughed, and helped each other heal from our past relationships. She had gone through a bad breakup 6 months ago with a guy who also cheated on her. Being in Hawaii with a true friend made me realize how much energy I had been wasting trying to convince myself that Brenda's behavior was normal. All those late nights at the office, the weekend work emergencies, the constant texting, I was such a fool. But at least now I know the truth, and I can start working on moving forward with my life. I've already contacted a lawyer, and we're working on filing for divorce. The evidence from her coworkers will definitely help my case. I just want this chapter of my life to be over so I can focus on healing and moving forward. Right now, I'm grateful for friends like Abigail who stand by you even when everything else falls apart. Update 2. It's been a month since my Hawaii trip, and things have taken several unexpected turns. I've officially filed for divorce, and the process is moving forward faster than I expected. My lawyer says since we have evidence of her infidelity and the marriage was so short, things should be relatively straightforward. The security camera footage from Brenda's office turned out to be crucial. When my lawyer first contacted Brenda, she was still trying to push the narrative that I was the one who had been unfaithful with Abigail. She even threatened to countersue for emotional damages, claiming I had humiliated her by going to Hawaii with another woman. However, her tune changed completely when we sent her the footage. There were multiple videos spanning several months, showing her and Nathan in compromising situations in the office parking lot. The timestamps on some of these videos matched exactly with nights when she had told me she was working late on important projects. One video even showed them together the night before our wedding, when she had told me she was having a quiet dinner with her bridesmaids. Brenda finally stopped trying to paint herself as the victim when she realized how much evidence we had. She's now agreed to an uncontested divorce, probably to avoid the footage coming out during proceedings as it could affect her job. Her lawyer reached out to mine, practically begging us to keep the evidence private. They're worried about the professional implications if this gets out. Speaking of jobs, Nathan's wife found out about the affair and created a huge scene at their office. She showed up during a board meeting and confronted both of them in front of everyone. Turns out I wasn't the only one being deceived. Nathan had told his wife he was working late all those nights he was actually with Brenda. He even missed his kids' school play for one of their rendezvous, claiming he had an important client meeting. The company is now conducting an internal investigation about their relationship since it violates company policies. Apparently, Nathan had given Brenda 2 promotions in the past year, and there are questions about whether these were merit-based or because of their relationship. Several other employees have come forward with complaints about favoritism. The interesting twist in all this? After the Hawaii trip, Abigail and I realized we had feelings for each other. It wasn't something we planned or expected. We were just talking one evening about all our shared memories, how she helped me pass calculus in high school, how I supported her through her mom's cancer treatment, how we've always been there for each other through everything. Something just clicked. We've started dating, and it feels right. Unlike my relationship with Brenda, there's no constant checking of phones, no mysterious work emergencies, just honest communication and trust. We already know everything about each other, our families, our friends, our past relationships, our dreams for the future. There's no pretense, no games, just genuine care and understanding. Some people are saying we got together too quickly, but they don't understand that we've known each other for 15 years. We've been there for each other through everything. Sometimes the right person is right in front of you, but you're too busy looking elsewhere to notice. My parents, who were initially concerned about me moving on too quickly, have been surprisingly supportive. They've always loved Abigail and treated her like family anyway. Brenda tried to use this relationship to her advantage in the divorce proceedings, claiming that Abigail and I must have been having an affair all along. But her arguments fell apart when we presented evidence of her infidelity. Plus, several of our mutual friends testified that they had suspected her relationship with Nathan long before our wedding. The whole situation has made me realize how many red flags I ignored with Brenda. Looking back, there were so many signs: the late-night texts, the sudden work emergencies, how she always dressed up extra nice for office meetings with Nathan. I was so focused on trying to be a supportive partner that I didn't see what was right in front of me. The divorce proceedings are moving forward, and I'm actually feeling optimistic about the future for the first time in months. Sometimes life has a way of showing you that what you thought you wanted isn't actually what's best for you. I never expected to find love with my best friend, but now that it's happening, it feels like this is how things were always meant to be. Update 3. 6 months have passed since my original post, and I can finally say I'm in a much better place now. The divorce was finalized last month, though not without some last-minute drama. Brenda tried to contest the prenup at the last minute, claiming she signed it under duress. Her lawyer must have advised her it was worth a shot since she had nothing to lose. However, given all the evidence we had about her infidelity and the fact that we had multiple witnesses present when she signed the prenup, her attempt failed miserably. The whole work situation imploded for both Brenda and Nathan. The company's investigation revealed that their relationship had started even before Brenda's first promotion. They found emails and messages dating back months before our wedding. Both of them lost their jobs due to the company's anti-fraternization policy, and several of Brenda's promotions are now under review since they happened during her relationship with Nathan. Nathan's divorce was apparently much messier than mine. His wife got their house in the settlement, along with primary custody of their kids. Last I heard, he and Brenda are living together in a small apartment on the other side of town. Some mutual friends told me they've been struggling financially since losing their jobs. Most companies in our industry have heard about what happened, and neither of them has been able to find comparable positions. Karma really does come around. Abigail and I got married in a small ceremony last week. Some people might think it's too soon, but when you know, you know. We didn't want a big wedding, just our closest friends and family who supported us through everything. It was completely different from my wedding with Brenda. This time, there was no pretense, no show for social media, just genuine love and happiness. The ceremony was in Abigail's parents' backyard, where we used to hang out as teenagers. Her dad made a speech about how he always knew we would end up together, even when we were just kids studying for math tests in their kitchen. My mom cried happy tears, saying she finally got the daughter-in-law she always wanted. Brenda tried to reach out when she heard about the wedding. She sent a long email talking about how she regretted everything and how she had made the biggest mistake of her life. She said she realized too late that what she had with Nathan wasn't real, it was just excitement and forbidden attraction. But honestly, I didn't even bother responding. That chapter of my life is closed. Life has a funny way of working out. Sometimes what seems like the worst day of your life turns out to be the beginning of something better. If Brenda hadn't cheated on me on our honeymoon day, I might never have realized that my perfect match was right beside me all along. Abigail and I are planning to move to a new house next month. We want a fresh start, away from all the memories of what happened. We're thinking about starting a family soon, and I'm excited about building a life with someone I trust completely. I'm thankful for everyone who supported me through this journey, especially the Reddit community who helped me see things clearly when I was at my lowest. Your comments and messages gave me the strength to stand up for myself and not let Brenda manipulate me into forgiving her. For anyone going through something similar, remember that sometimes losing someone who doesn't respect you is actually winning. Trust your gut when something feels off, and don't be afraid to start over. You never know what better things life has in store for you.